Today, I'm going to show you a complete beginner's guide of the MacBook Air M4 2025. I'm going to show you some of my favorite tips, tricks, and hidden features, allowing you to leave this video as a MacBook Air M4 2025 expert. Let's get started. You can see on the front, on the top of the packaging here, we have an image of the MacBook Air itself. On the side, it says MacBook Air. It has the Apple logo. And on the bottom, it has some specs and information about it. You can see that this one is the M4 model, 16 gigs of memory, 256 gigs of storage. And then there are two pull straps, one at the top, one at the bottom, for us to open this box up. So let's go ahead and dive right in and see what it's like to set up this MacBook for the very first time. So go ahead and rip the first pull strap off, and then there's a second paper strap off. I'm going to pull it, and it comes off just like that. And now we can turn the box around and lift up on the top of it, and it will it will open up just like that. So we're able to open up our MacBook Air successfully, and we're presented with the device itself with a pull tab. You can go ahead and pull this pull tab out just like that, lift the laptop up, and put it to the side. It's got a paper covering over it. And then inside, you've got your charger, your MagSafe charger that you plug up into the side of the computer, and the USB-C in that goes into the adapter. You've got designed by Apple in California. Underneath this is your power brick. So you can plug up your USB-C cable to the power brick. It has it has paper around here. We can rip this off. So you will plug up your USB-C cable into the power brick just like that, and allow you to charge your MacBook. And then this MagSafe, I'll show you where the MagSafe connection is, but it's magnetic in case someone trips over it or decides to, accidentally catch the cord. It will magnetically detach from the computer itself. So inside the Design by Apple in California, we've got some paperwork and quick start guides. So your basic information that you need. Your MacBook Air, it tells you where all the ports are and how to use the computer. So standard information that we've got right here inside of the Design by Apple in California guide right here. So all your safety information and more. All right, so that's what's in the box. Let's go ahead and open up this computer. We can tear the paper wrapping off of it. I'm gonna go ahead and take the box and put it to the side. And then we'll go ahead and open up the computer for the very first time and set it up and see what it's like to use Mac OS. So here we have the computer. It's got this paper on it, and we can go ahead and lift the paper up. And here is the brand new MacBook Air. This is the sky blue finish, so it's the brand new color, and it looks stunning. You can see how gorgeous it looks. And it's super thin and light. So this is what the bottom of the computer looks like. And this is what the top of it looks like. Let's take a look at our ports. So here is the MagSafe port on the left. This is where you can charge your computer with the included power cable that it came with. You've got two USB-C ports on the left right here. And then you've got your headphone jack on the right. And that's all. Today's sponsor is WhiteBridge. It's a really cool platform that allows you to look up yourself using artificial intelligence. You can even look up family members or other prospects by just pasting their name or their social media profile and pressing the blue search button. And you can check out their profile and anything that they can find on the internet. So it discovers tons of data sources, it aggregates them all, and then you can purchase a report. You can use the link in the description below to get 25% off a WhiteBridge report using the coupon code AppFind25. Let's take a look at what my profile looks like. We can go ahead and see my favorite part of the profiles is the behavioral and interaction insights. You can see how to interact with that person based off what they post about on the internet. And you can see the interaction guidelines of what you should do and what you shouldn't do. And this is really cool to reflect on my own interests that I've published on the internet. And to be able to come here and see some of my personality traits based off what AI has detected based off my social media profiles, I can come here and see all that goodness right there. So this is WhiteBridge. It's basically like a search engine for people. You can learn more about that person and better communicate with them. You can see everything on the internet about them. And it uses artificial intelligence to gather all of that data and you can generate a report. And again, you can get 25% off using the code AppFind25, and you can go ahead and generate your reports about yourself or your family members or even your coworkers or people that you want to work with and better communicate with. And this is WhiteBridge. So let's go ahead and lift this open for the very first time. We've got our paper and our Apple logo. And now it's booting up. It's got a progress bar with at the very bottom below the Apple logo. And then the hello. It starts to say hello in various different languages here, and allows us to get set up. So in order to get started, all you have to do is just click. And the first thing that it wants to know is your language. So we can come over here, you can scroll, you can use the trackpad. This is the trackpad area, the keyboard area, and then
to use English as the main language, press the return key.
Alright, so speaking to us.
To use English. Para usar is to use English as the main language, press the return key.
So you got various different languages here that you can click on using the trackpad to move the mouse around and select whichever language you want. You can press the return key to select English, or you can select a different one and then press the arrow key or enter to move forward. So I'm going to press the arrow key on the screen right here, this arrow key. I'm going to press that one time and move forward with our next option. So it wants us to press enter rather than the arrow key, but you can do either one. Enter will select whatever the blue highlight is on, and so if we move it to a different one, enter will select that. So next up, we've got select your country or region. We're in the United States here, so I've got the United States already selected, but if you are in a different region or country,
Mac OS contains a built-in screen reader called VoiceOver. If you know how to use VoiceOver, press Command F5 now to turn it on and set up your Mac. If you would like to learn how to use VoiceOver to set up your Mac, press the Escape key.
Great, so you can press Escape to learn more about VoiceOver, or you can press Command F5 to turn on VoiceOver, which is a screen reader that speaks out what's on your screen and allows you to navigate the computer using a screen reader. So I'm going to leave that disabled for now. We've got United States selected, and then I'm going to go ahead and select the Continue option right here and the right to move forward. Next up is accessibility. So we can dive through all of our accessible features here, starting with vision, motor, hearing, and cognitive. Under vision, we can turn on VoiceOver, which VoiceOver provides spoken and braille descriptions of items on the computer screen and provides control of the computer through the use of a keyboard. I'm going to skip this one. We can press the continue. We've got zoom. Zoom is a powerful built-in magnifier that lets you enlarge your screen. You hold down the control key and swipe up on your trackpad or mouse to zoom. So I like this feature because it allows you to see things better. I can zoom in by holding down the control and swiping with two fingers on the trackpad. One of my favorite features on the Mac. So anytime you need to see something more clearly, you can just always zoom in with two fingers, swiping up and down while the control key is held down. So I'm going to leave that on. We'll go ahead and press continue. Next up is hover text. Hover text enlarges the text underneath the pointer in a large text view while the command key is held down. So if you have text underneath the pointer, it'll enlarge it so you can see it more clearly. I'm going to press continue. Next up is speak selection. Selected text will be spoken when the option and escape keys are pressed. You can customize later in system settings. I'm going to go ahead and press continue. If you want to turn this on, you can check this box right here that says turn on speak selection. If not, you can just press continue and move forward. You can increase the size of your pointer. So pointer size lets you enlarge your cursor so you can better see it and track it. So you can see what that looks like to have bigger cursors or smaller ones. I'm going to leave it on the default size. Actually, I'll move it to the second one so you can clearly see it. But even if I move it to the third one, then it's massive and you can definitely see the cursor as I move it around. But I'll leave it on the second one for the purpose of this video. And then you can select whichever one you want and move forward. Next up, we're going to press the continue button. And now is reduced transparency, which improves contrast by reducing transparency and blurs on some backgrounds to increase legibility. So you've got the standard transparency mode right here, and then you've got reduced transparency. So you can select whichever one you like. When you reduce transparency, you don't see what's in the background. So when it's on standard, you can kind of see the wallpaper in the background. Or if you had a panel that has a transparent panel, then you can see what what's behind that panel, but if you click reduce transparency, it turns that off. So I'm going to leave standard on. I like being able to see the translucent backgrounds in the back. And then I'm going to press this continue button right over here. Next up is increased contrast. Increase color contrast between apps, colors to increase legibility. So you can increase contrast there or keep it standard depending on which one that you want. I want to go ahead and keep it standard, and then I'll press this continue button in the lower right corner right here. I'll just click that one time with a trackpad. Next up is my all-time favorite, the appearance. Light or dark appearance changes the color of the screen content. So by default it's in light mode, but my favorite mode is dark mode. You can turn on dark mode and have a great appearance here, and it turns everything dark. You can also turn on auto mode, which will detect depending on the time of day. In the morning it'll be light mode, and at night it'll be dark mode, and it'll switch throughout the day automatically. But for me personally, I love having dark mode on 24/7, so you can pick whichever appearance version you like best, whether that's light mode, dark mode, or auto. I'm going to keep it on dark mode for the purpose of this video, and we'll move forward by pressing the continue button in the lower right corner of the screen. Next up is reduce motion. If you are affected by movement of screen elements, you can enable reduce motion to decrease movement in apps or areas such as spaces, notification center, and the dock. So we can see here with standard, this is what motion will look like, and with reduce motion, you won't necessarily see as much motion as it is on standard. So I'm going to leave this on standard, but you can pick whichever one you want. The left is standard, the right is reduce motion, and then press the continue button in the lower right corner right here. So you just press that one time, and now we have completed the accessibility settings for Vision. Next up is Motor. So we can click on Motor, and it wants to know about the accessibility keyboard. The accessibility keyboard is an on-screen keyboard that allows you to type and interact with your computer without using a physical keyboard. So you can turn this on by checking this box if you want, and it brings up the accessibility keyboard, or you can leave it off and hit the continue button in the lower right to move forward. Next up is Hearing for accessibility. You can click on Hearing, and you can turn on closed captions. You can use closed captions to display the music and sound effects while you watch movies and TV shows. You can customize what your captions will look like later in system settings. So if you turn on them, you just check this box right here, and subtitles will look like this. I'm going to zoom in so you can see. You check that box right there to leave them on. I'm going to uncheck it for the purpose of this video, but subtitles will appear on the screen just like in the image above. I'm going to zoom out, and then I'm going to press the continue button in the lower right to move forward. Next up is Flash for alerts. Instead of playing an alert sound, the screen will flash when an app needs your attention. We can test what that looks like by pressing this button right here, and we can see an example of the screen flashing once for us. And then we can turn on Flash for alerts. If you want to, you just check this box right here, it turns it on, and you're good to go. For this video, I'm going to leave it off, and I'm going to press the continue button in the lower right to move forward. So we click continue, and last but not least, we have cognitive. We can click on the cognitive settings, and for cognitive, we've got appearance again, light, dark, and auto. I'm going to leave it on dark mode. I'm going to press the continue button in the lower right to move forward. And then we've got speak selection. We can turn on speak selection. We can turn on typing feedback. With typing feedback, your Mac will speak characters, words, or selection changes as you type. You can just press this checkbox right here to turn on typing feedback. If you don't want to turn it on, that's fine. You can leave it unchecked. And then to move forward, we just press this continue button in the lower right corner of the screen. And then we've got hover text. We can turn that on or off. I'm going to leave it off, press continue, and then we're good to go. We have managed and set up all of our accessibility settings on the Mac for the very first time between Vision, Motor, Hearing, and Cognitive. Next up, we can press the continue button to move to the next stage of setting up this Macintosh. So it wants us to set up our Wi-Fi network. So we can come in here and select our Wi-Fi network, and we have successfully connected to Wi-Fi. And next up is the software update. A software update is available for this Mac. It'll be updated to the latest version, which currently is 15.3.2. I highly recommend doing this. You can do it now or later. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to press this update later text that's blue and right here at the very bottom. But if you want to continue with the software update now, you can press this continue button in the lower right. So I'm going to say update later, and I'll show you exactly how to do that once we get to our desktop. Now we've got data and privacy. So this icon appears when Apple is collecting data, and it's their way of being transparent with you to let you know that the computer is currently collecting data to send back to their team. So they believe privacy is a fundamental human right. So they minimize the collection of data collection, but sometimes it does happen, and this icon does appear to let you know that it's happening. You can press this continue button in the lower right, or you can press learn more to read more about their data and privacy policies. So I'm going to press the continue button. We'll click that one time. And next up is the migration assistant. If you have other information on a time machine backup, a different startup disk, a different Macintosh, or even a Windows PC, you can go ahead and migrate that content right now. If you do not, in this case we do not have any content to migrate, you press this blue text in the lower left corner that says not now. So we'll press not now in order to move forward on the screen. But if you do have another computer or another backup device, then you can select whichever one that is and then press the continue button on the right side of the screen here. So I'm going to go ahead and press not now. And then next up is your Apple account. You can create a new Apple account by pressing the create new Apple account if you do not have one. Or if you forgot your password, you can select forgot password, or you can use different accounts for iCloud and Apple Media purchases. An Apple account is not required, but I highly recommend it because in order to access all these services, the iCloud, the App Store, Apple Music, messages in the cloud, Find My, and Wallet, you do need to have an iCloud account for all of that. So it makes it a lot easier if you have an Apple account to sync all of your stuff together and to use all of the Apple services. If you do not have an Apple account, then you won't be able to take advantage of all the services that are available on this computer. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to say set up later, but for you, I would highly recommend typing in your email or phone number to your Apple account and setting that up in real time before you get started with your computer. So I'm going to say set up later, and then it's going to just double check, are you sure that you want to skip this process? Because if you skip it, you won't be able to automatically set up the App Store, iCloud, and other Apple services. But just for this demo purposes, I want to maintain my privacy here. I'm not going to log into my iCloud on the computer, so I am going to skip it, but I do recommend you logging into your Apple account and setting up iCloud and other Apple services. Next up is terms and conditions. So we've got terms and conditions for macOS. You'll need to agree to these in order to use this computer, and the agree button is in the lower right corner right here where it is next to the back button. So we'll press the agree button, and then it says I have read and agreed to the macOS software license agreement, and then another agree or disagree button, and in order to use this computer you'll have to hit agree. And then next up it says create a computer account. So we can come over here and type in a computer account, and then we can type in a password. So password is required, and then you can also click this edit button and change which kind of emoji you want. So for us, we can come over here and we can select something like a unicorn and then hit save. Now we've got a unicorn as our image right here. We've got our full name here, our account name, our password, and then you can put a hint for your password. Now it's going to give me a little message because I picked a quick or easy password here. So it's creating the account, and it takes a little minute here. You can see in the lower left here it says creating an account, and we'll be good to go. So you'll have to fill out all of this information in order to create your computer account, and then it's going to process for a few minutes. And then we'll be able to successfully use our account on this new MacBook Air 15 or this MacBook Air 13-inch, but with the M4 processor with the Apple chip. So next up is enable location services. We can click enable to use things like spotlight suggestions and more to get your approximate location. That's important if your web browser wants to pull up like a map of restaurants or something. So I do recommend turning on enable location services on this Mac with that checkbox, and then pressing the continue button right here in the lower right. And then you can share analytics with Apple. You can also share cache and usage data with developers. If you don't want any of these, you can uncheck them. But super cool to be able to help the developers at Apple and all the third-party developers learn why their app crashed or what went wrong if you are to check these boxes and then press the continue button in the lower right. Next up is screen time. Screen time. You can get a weekly insight of your screen time. You can set limits for various apps and websites that you want to manage, and you can also set up parent controls on a child's device. So I think this is really cool to monitor your screen time. You get weekly reports, downtime and app limits, content and privacy restrictions, and screen time passcode. So I'm going to go ahead and press continue for that to be set up. And next up is Apple Intelligence. So Apple Intelligence is intelligence that understands your personal context. You can connect to Wi-Fi and prepare for it to download the models for Apple Intelligence. So you can do writing and summarization. You can use things like writing tools to perfect your writing. You can summarize things. You can perfect it. You can proofread it and more. Siri is a little smarter and contextually relevant and personal to you. And of course, it's built with privacy in mind without sharing your data with Apple. So it just tells you a little bit about the Apple Intelligence beta, and you can press the continue button in the lower right here in order to move forward with the next video. Next up is Siri. Siri helps you get things done by asking. We all know that you can activate Siri. If you don't want to activate Siri, you can press this button right here that says enable Ask Siri, and then it will not be activated. I'm going to activate it for the purpose of this video and press the continue button in the lower right. It's going to ask me to select a voice.
The colors of the sky fade with the setting sun as the stars begin to shine through the clear night.
And then I'll press the continue button in the lower right. And now Siri helps us find information and get things just by asking. All you have to do is just say that word, Siri, and then your request, or press and hold the microphone key. We'll press continue. Siri, how's the weather? Hey Siri, send a message. Siri, set a timer for 3 minutes. Hey Siri, get directions home. Siri, play some music. And just like that, it asked me to speak a series of prompts so Siri could learn my voice. So now when I speak, Siri will understand. I can say the words Hey Siri or Siri at the beginning of requests, and Siri will wake up and listen to what I have to say. And then to move forward, I can press this continue button in the lower right corner here. And then I can improve Siri or dictation by sharing audio recordings with the team at Apple so they can analyze and make sure that Siri did exactly what I instructed it to do. If you do not want to do that, you can say not now. If you do want to do it, you can say share audio recordings. I'm going to say not now for now, and then press continue in the lower right corner right here. Next up is Touch ID. You can use our fingerprint to unlock our Mac. If you want to set up Touch ID later, you can do that by pressing the setup later text, the blue text at the very bottom left, or you can press continue in the lower right to move forward. And all you have to do, the Touch ID sensor is in the top right here. You can just touch the sensor in the top right, and it starts to register your fingerprint. And you repeatedly lift up your finger and lift it down, up and down continuously until it captures all of your fingerprint. And then when it's captured everything, you are good to go. And it says Touch ID is ready. Your fingerprint can be used to unlock your Mac. And then you press this continue button in the lower right to move forward. And now we've set up our Mac. Welcome to Mac. It's got a continue button at the very bottom right here, the bottom middle. You press that continue button and you're presented with the desktop for the very first time. And here we have our Mac. Isn't it gorgeous? So earlier in the setup process, we skipped the automatic update process while we were setting up. I'm going to show you how to update your Mac instantly. So now that you've set up your Mac and you've got everything situated, you'll want to go to System Settings in the lower right here. You'll press that and open up. And then you'll go over to General selected, and then you'll go to Software Update. And you can press Software Update and instantly update to your Mac, to the latest software if there's one available, by pressing the Update Now button right here. So you just press that once, and then it will start the update process for this Mac. We can also see that Apple Intelligence is ready, so we can click on Ready for Apple Intelligence, and then we can press Continue to turn it on. So we'll press this Continue button. We can say that we can summarize all of our notification previews, and then it asks about Siri. Siri's an intelligent assistant, so it can help you out with those things. We'll press the blue Continue button. We can speak to Siri. We'll press the blue Continue button. We can type to Siri. We'll click the Siri button in the menu bar, or press the command twice on the keyboard, and we'll go ahead and press continue. And now Apple Intelligence is good to go. So we can press Command twice, and this is the enable the type to Siri shortcut. We'll enable that, and now we can start typing to Siri. Let's see, what's the score of the UNC game? So we can ask it a question, and it's interesting. It doesn't have sports on the Mac. So on the iPhone, it would know who that is. And it also has this capability to use ChatGPT.
I'm having a bit of trouble here. Please try again.
So you can outsource things to ChatGPT that it doesn't know. So you can also access Siri in the top right here by pressing this button right here, and Siri drops down. And then you can press the top keyboard, the voice icon. Hello Siri, how you doing? And they say, I feel good. Thanks for asking. So you can ask Siri about things for the Mac. You can ask Siri, and it may or may not use web results, or it may use ChatGPT for more information. So you've got all your Siri connections right here, and your extensions at the very bottom. So really cool that you can dive into Siri on your brand new Mac. You can update it, and then I'll give you a little tour. So on a Mac, here's how you close things. You press the X circle on the top left. You can minimize it with the yellow in the middle, and then you can make it bigger or full screen, or resize it with the plus that's green. So I'll go ahead and exit out of that. And this is our desktop. We can see here that we've got image playground and notification on the top right. We can click on that, and it is ready for us to use. We can open up image playground just like this, and you can help improve Apple Intelligence by creating your own images and sharing feedback. You can use your imagination, personalize an image, and try different combinations. So we'll press this yellow continue button in the lower right, and now we can come in here and say candy ice cream, cotton candy, and then we'll press enter, and we'll see what it creates. So this is an image playground, which uses AI to generate images for you based off prompts, and you can see all the different variations of prompts here. So that's a cool feature of Apple Intelligence in Image Playground. I'll go ahead and press the done button right here, and it's going to save that image, and I can share it using the share button at the top. And then I'll go ahead and press the X button to get out of Image Playground. We'll exit right there out of System Settings. And then here is our desktop. So at the bottom we have our dock, where we have all of our favorite applications. So we've got Safari, which allows us to access the internet browser, and then we can go to the web browser and access anything. You can see the new website for the new MacBook Air that we're currently using. So the dock is how you access all of your applications. This Launchpad here shows you every application that's installed on your computer. So you can press Launchpad right here, and it shows you every app that's installed. And then at the top is where you have your menu bar. You can have different icons on the right side of your menu bar. So we've got a battery status icon, we've got the Wi-Fi icon, Spotlight, where we can search for apps and different things that are on our computer. You've got Control Center on the top right, and then we've played with Siri, as you've seen, and then we've got the date. So you've got multiple ways to interact with your computer. And then of course, you've got your menu bar for whatever app that you're in. It'll show the name of that app in the top left, and you can come over here and play around with it. So you've got your file edit, your standard, menu icon, or your standard menu options that you have at the top there. And that is our brand new Mac with the M4 processor. It's very speedy. It allows you to come in here and you can do all kinds of video editing, all kinds of processing, and if you're using it for school, it's super fast and super great. So a really cool brand new Mac for Apple, the MacBook Air, where it's got the M4 processor that allows you to have very speedy processes on your computer. And if you're not subscribe to our newsletter, go to AppFind.ai to subscribe to our newsletter, where you can get the latest complete beginner guides every week in your inbox. You'll get tutorials straight from, including these videos that we make on future technology guides, and written tutorials on how to access these consumer electronic products and apps, and it's really neat. So go to appfind.ai to sign up today, and you can use the AppFind Complete Beginner's Guide strategies in your email inbox to get the latest technology, apps, software, and AI tools and products. And this has been a complete beginner's guide of the MacBook Air M4. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to let us know what your favorite feature was in the comments below and smash that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.